I never expected to find what lay hidden in the heart of the African rift. The archival footage flickered to life. Grainy, sepia-toned, crackling with age. Explorers from another era stumbling upon something extraordinary. But this isn't just history. What I'm about to show you is a window into a world that existed 4 million years ago. Preserved in the Adinkra Valley like a living fossil. A tribe, a way of life. A form of resilience that defies every timeline we've drawn. I found myself descending into the Adinkra Valley, boots crunching on volcanic gravel, air thick with calls of creatures pulled from prehistory itself. The valley walls rose like cathedral spires. Vertical rock faces draped in vegetation unchanged since our ancestors first walked upright. Then we saw them. Figures moving through acacia groves with precision that spoke of centuries, millennia, of accumulated knowledge. The tribe watched us as carefully as we watched them. Perhaps 40 individuals, tools crafted from obsidian and bone, shelters arranged in a semicircle suggesting both community and defense. They didn't flee, they assessed. And in that assessment, I recognized something profound. These weren't people frozen in time, but practitioners of an unbroken tradition. Their faces bore intricate markings, Adinkra symbols, each one a chapter in an oral history predating written language itself. I watched the tribe's water finders move across the valley floor, reading the land like text. They pressed ears to ground, feeling for underground streams. They studied bird flight patterns at dawn, following them to hidden springs. When they found water, they filtered it through layers of sand, charcoal, and woven grass, purification that would make modern engineers pause. The first taste was cold, mineral-rich, absolutely pure. This wasn't luck. This was science passed down through 4,000 generations. Their shelters told an equally compelling story. Timber frames lashed with braided sinew, walls of woven branches plastered with clay mixed with grass, roofs thatched in overlapping patterns, shedding even the heaviest rains, stone anchors channeling wind away from entrances. Food came from everywhere, tubers dug with fire-hardened sticks, fish trapped in woven baskets, fruits preserved in clay pots sealed with beeswax. One elder demonstrated a failed experiment with a bitter root, making an exaggerated face that needed no translation. Even failure was knowledge here. I was sketching when the sky changed. Within minutes, clouds the color of bruised iron rolled over the valley rim. The tribe didn't panic. They activated. Drum signals, smoke patterns, runners moving between family groups. Children gathered. Elderly assisted to higher ground along paths I hadn't noticed existed. Essential supplies secured in elevated caches, marked with specific symbols. This was protocol refined over countless floods. The water came impossibly fast. The valley's seasonal stream became a churning torrent in under an hour, carrying uprooted trees like twigs. I scrambled up the escape route, my modern gear suddenly inadequate. From our refuge, a cave system in the valley wall, I watched the settlement disappear underwater. But the tribe was already planning recovery, which structures could be salvaged, which food caches remained above the waterline, how to rebuild fish traps for post-flood abundance. Disaster was simply another variable in the equation. I learned quickly that isolation came with a price. Apex predators, lions at dusk, leopards in the trees, hyenas testing the perimeter every night. The tribe's response was methodical, cleared sight lines for early detection, thorn barriers channeling animal movement away, fires burning in perimeter patterns. And when confrontation became unavoidable, coordinated defense using noise, fire, and spears to deter, not hunt. I documented one encounter, a young male lion approaching at dawn. Immediate response, a wall of sound, warriors advancing with shields and fire. The lion retreated, no injuries. But what struck me was the discussion afterward. Analyzing the encounter like scientists, identifying improvements, noting courage and wisdom. They understood survival wasn't about dominating nature. It was about negotiating with it, establishing boundaries. Standing in the Adinkra Valley, I realized I wasn't observing the past. I was witnessing knowledge the modern world desperately needs to remember. I left the Adinkra Valley with more questions than answers, but one truth crystallized. Resilience isn't about technology or resources. It's about knowledge, community, and adaptation without losing identity. The tribe survived 4 million years because they paid attention, because they remembered, because they understood every generation stands on the shoulders of those before. In our modern rush forward, we've forgotten how to look back. The Adinkra Valley reminds us that the oldest wisdom is often the most relevant.